Hello everyone, Noodle House here. We are back on Chaos Child. You can both treat me as an ally. I see. Oh, but I hate it when people are clingy and super friendly, so please keep that in mind. I'm going to turn down the TV because I just realised how loud her voice is in this game. Then she smiled just a little. That may have been the first time I'd seen a real smile from her. October 12th, 2015, Monday. Same day. Shinjo looked up at the huge white building and sighed loudly. That's a sky, not a white building. AH General Hospital. After Kuruzu's report, he decided to visit it himself. It was almost midnight. Visiting hours were long over and he didn't have an official warrant. He was here entirely of his own volition. But as he saw, he was never getting a warrant the usual way, so this was his only shot. Normally he'd want to slowly, painstakingly build up a case, but it seems to him that searching this hospital was so important that there just wasn't time to spare. First I need to see if what Mio Kunosato said is true. If I can do that, I should be able to get as many warrants as I want. After his own investigations, he'd found that something strange had started happening here in 2007, 2 years before the earthquake. At the time, there was a treatment facility in Shibuya called the Arc Heart Medical Association that was involved in it with some sort of cult. On the surface, it was a mental health clinic staffed with talented doctors from university hospitals. There was no way to know what they'd actually been doing, but evidently some people had suspected that they were brainwashing troubled patients. But suddenly the facility was reborn as a hospital with a non-profit assisted living facility. And all the doctors that Arc Heart Medical had fired were rehired at AH Tokyo General Hospital. And then 6 years ago there was a new generation madness. The fifth victim in that case, Fumio Takashina, the victim of the so-called brain dead case, who'd been kept alive for a week after his brain was removed. He worked at AH Tokyo General Hospital. Fucking hell, they removed his brain and kept him alive. I don't know how that works, but okay. What's all these creepy coincidences? There was too much that seemed suspicious. What would they have done at a time like this? And then he shook his head. Do it your own way, that's what they would have said. Either way, if he could get proof of what was in this facility basement, then the case would take a whole different turn. Even if there was something big lurking in the shadows behind this case, if he presented incontrovertible proof, the police would have no choice but to act. It wasn't just about the facility after all. There were a lot of people involved too. The lives and dignity of the victims who'd been turned into the test subjects also mattered. Experimented on humans, that's disgusting. Every year almost 100,000 people went missing. If some of them had been forced into these experiments, that would be a big problem. Okay, let's get this over with. His voice was somehow relaxed yet driven as he headed into the hospital. He learned and memorised the location of the facility from Kunosato. He snuck in from the ER loading zone and headed to the basement. The temperature was clearly different from the areas above. And then he went back to the autopsy room. If I remember right, this is where the entrance is. He opened the breaker box and saw the card reader inside. So this is it. He held out the keycard that Kunosato had given him. And he heard the sound of an opening door. Let's see, so something big's happening here. There was a hidden staircase in the back of the autopsy room. A part of him hadn't believed it until he'd seen it for himself, but now he was essentially sure. A normal hospital wouldn't need something like this. Shinjo stopped for a moment to take a breath and head down the stairs. There was an old hallway at the bottom. It smelled of mould and dust. When he turned on his pen light, he saw there was an old facility and the walls were falling apart. But this place is still being used. If no one visits a building, it rots away. Unless someone uses it every day, it won't last long. But this place was different. It was old and he was nearly certain someone was using it. I think she set it up this way. Shinjo followed the directions that Kunosato had given him as he headed towards his goal. His first stop was the monitoring room, which would have critical information on the facility. He wanted the data on the computer there. and then he wanted to find the room where the victims of the experiments were being kept. He turned down many corridors as he headed for his destination. The cell-like rooms he saw on his way concerned him, but they could wait for later. Right now his biggest job was to get the evidence he needed. This must be the place. Shinjo finally found the spot he was looking for. He used his car key to unlock the door. Then he swallowed and put his hand on the doorknob. When he got inside, he saw... What? Damn it. He quickly ran to the other room, the prison where Uki Yamazoe had kept the test subjects. You're kidding me, this can't be, this can't be. He quickly found the room and flung the door open. And then he stood still in astonishment. There was... I'm gonna go with nothing? Yep. Nothing there. No victims, no beds. None of the things that Kunosato had told him about. The monitoring room had been empty too. There was no security cameras, no computers. Nothing at all. All that remained was the simple fact that there was nothing left at all. Hey Miyashiro, you guys to the club today, right? Of course. I want to go over a lot of things with the case. Okay, let's go. Oh, sorry, go on ahead without me. What? You got something to do? Well, I'm on cleaning duty today. I pointed to the other students who were moving the desks and sweeping the floors. Yeah, but you know, why do they make the students do the cleaning? You've got that right. It's one of the only few countries, including Japan, that make their students do the cleaning. Oh, stop. I don't need to hear it. Okay, see you later. Huh? Sheesh. Time to get this finished and head to the club room. I saw a scrap of paper lying on the floor next to the garbage bin. Someone had probably tried to throw it in the wastebasket and missed and left it there. I really wish they'd think about other people who had to do the cleaning before they did that. It's gonna have the 11th Rorschach, isn't it? I took a quick look around. There was another student named Tanaka right nearby who was mopping up the floor. Fortunately, there was no one else around. Okay, let's try this. I visualised the scrap of paper lifting off the floor. This is more difficult than you think. If you lost your concentration for even a moment, it wouldn't work. Well, can I do it? I took the scene I'd imagined and tried to strike Tanaka with it. And then... the scrap of paper floated upward, just like I'd imagined. And then it floated into the garbage can. I did a little victory pose. Tanaka was looking around in surprise. She looked at me a little afraid. Hey, Miyashiro? Yes, what is it? Did I just see a piece of paper move into the garbage can on its own? Huh? Like, you know, it went in without anybody touching it. Huh? No way, you must have been mistaken. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Still, she stared at the garbage can, unsatisfied. I'd like to go throw out the garbage, is that okay? Yeah, sorry. I took the garbage can into the hallway. Oh. More. I want to use this power more. Hey, new chapter. Okay. Everybody here? It had already been 3 days since Arimura and I had been attacked by the pyrokinetic. We'd been worried that she might attack us again, but until now nothing had happened. Thanks to that, we'd finally calmed down and today I was feeling good enough to revisit what we knew about the case. First, before we get started, let me introduce you. Hey there, I'm Hina Arimura and I'm always smiling, so it's so nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you too! Clap, clap, clap! It was still hard to keep up with the way her mood seemed to change all the time. Serika was applauding, but no one else was. Kazuki was playing ESO 2 or some other game, like she always did. She turned around to take one look at Aramura, then she went back to her computer screen. Aramura isn't actually joining the newspaper club, she's just helping us. I'm on the Lit Club actually, but there's no need to sweat the details. I'll be coming by as much as I can. For what it's worth, I'd already told the newspaper club's members about Aramura's power. Hey, Aramura, can I ask you something? I didn't even do the right voice for her. Sure, oh, but my measurements are made in secret. I don't really care about Aramura's measurements. The hell did you just say, asshole? And then her mood changed again. Which is the real you, Hina? Sometimes you're cheerful, sometimes you're serious, and sometimes you're scared. Well, which do you think it is? Oh, come on, you don't have to think about that hard. But what I can tell is that knowing when someone is telling the truth is a lot harder than you think, Sari. If you don't mess around a little, you can't survive. Sarika seemed lost in thought, as if she didn't really understand. Alright, you. Kazuki jumped a little. Hey, you're a first year, right? Oh, sorry, can you say that loud for me? Oh, Hina, don't say that, Hana doesn't talk. Huh? She doesn't? Do you mean she can't talk? No, I don't think that's the case, she just really doesn't want to. Even we've never actually seen her talk. Oh, I see. Aramura stared at Kazuki's face. Okay, Hana Kazuki, right? So can I call you Hana? Okay, Hana, nice to meet you. I thought Aramura might have found it difficult to get along with Kazuki, but maybe I was wrong. Since Kazuki didn't talk, it might actually make it easier for her, since she didn't have to worry about knowing if she was lying. Okay, let's get started. Wait, before that, there's something I have to tell you. Kurisu is... Sorry, I'm late. Kurisu opened the door and came inside. Her injury had healed and Dad had told her that it was okay for her to move around, so she'd come back to school today. Vice President. Have you started already? No, we definitely haven't been talking about the case. It's okay, Ito. Huh? Kurisu is going to help us solve the case. Huh? She is? Yes. I guess you could say it's my job to keep an eye on you. Kurisu glanced at me for a moment, worried. But it was only for a moment, and then she was back to normal. Anyway, let me hear your opinions on the case thus far. If there's anything that seemed a little off, I'll gladly point it out. The meek attitude she had when she'd been hurt was gone, and she was back to her usual self. Ito's shoulders slumped, but at the same time he looked a little happy. She was always obnoxious and at times a little annoying, but this was the way to keep everyone. This is the way everyone wanted Kurisu to be. Okay, now that everyone's here, I'd like to start the meeting, but first there's something I want to show you all. What's that? I've only shown this to Inoue and Kurisu. It doesn't work 100% of the time, so it might fail, but... Ito, Kazuki, and Aramura looked at me in confusion. I nodded and grabbed a pen, then I put it on the table. I try my best to focus. And then, just like the scrap of paper earlier, I imagined the pen moving. Here's the hard part. Can I do it? As I focused as hard as I could, I saw it slowly appear in the corner of my eye. Okay, there it is. Now I was left to imagine my delusion affecting everyone else. The next moment, the pen started to jerk upwards. Oh look, it's a little Oopa! It's the thing from Steins Gate on the end of it. I'm so happy that that's the case. Huh? Whoa. The three of them raised their voices in surprise as the pen slowly moved upward. When I stopped imagining the floating pen, the dinosaur disappeared from my field of vision, and the pen slammed back down on the table. Wow, Miyashiro, that's incredible. Just like I said, it's not perfect yet, and they said not purple yet. It's not perfect yet, but... When did you learn to do that? Inoue helped me with tried a bunch of different things. Ito gasped in amazement. When the pyrokinetic attacked me, I was forced to accept that I really was psychic. After that, I decided to master my power instead of running away from it, and I'd gone through a lot of trial and error to do that. At first, I tried to do it on my own, but that didn't go well. Then I remembered what Kunosato had said. She'd said that a Gigolomaniac... Every time I read that, I think Gigolomaniac. Accomplished a real boot by transmitting his delusions into the dead spots of another person's brain to create what she called a shared reality. That meant that if I didn't have someone to share my delusion with, it wouldn't work, right? So when I'd started practicing with Serika, things began to go much better. But Miyashiro, you know that if you start using that power for fun, nothing good's going to come of it, right? Arimura's right. I know that. I'm just doing this to protect everyone. I hope so. I was telling the truth. I'd managed to turn back the pyrokinetic's flames at the last second. That was the only reason we survived. But that was only a coincidence, born out of desperation. If she was going to come after me again, I needed to master my power. That's why I decided to practice like this. But you know, it's weird. Suddenly, Serika frowned. She was fiddling with her Gero Froggy strap like she always did when she was thinking about something. What's weird? You know, Serika, you may be able to make sense of what you're saying inside your own head, but the rest of us can't. Oh, sorry, well, you can tell if someone's telling the truth, right? And Taku can move objects. I was just wondering why everybody has different powers. Oh. I never thought about that before. She had a point. Why did it have different people have different powers? Kunosato hadn't said anything about that. And another thing, when did you get this power? Were you born with it? No, it was Maybelline. That was another thing I've been wondering about. Miyashiro, what about you? I didn't know that I had a power until a very short time ago, so honestly, I don't know. And what about you, Arimura? I think mine came to me after the Shibuya earthquake. After that, I just suddenly could tell when people were lying. So in Arimura's case, she suddenly became able to tell if people were lying after the Shibuya earthquake. Thanks for repeating that. Does that mean the earthquake is involved somehow? I'd have to look into that eventually. Also, as to Seri's question, why different people have different powers, I have an idea about that. What is it? I think it's because of their wish. Their wish? Yep, something happened to me during the earthquake, and the next thing I knew, I was like this. Something happened? Oh, come on, you know, I wanted to know the truth. Don't let me spell it out for you, it's embarrassing. No, it's not really embarrassing. And what do you mean? You wanted to know the truth? What happened? Jeez, you're such a nosy pervert. Why? I made in secret, so no more questions, none. When Arimura was like this, I knew I wasn't going to get anything out of her. Anyway, let's go over what happened so far. All the victims in the Return of the New Generation Madness cases have one thing in common. We know what it is, right? Yep, just like I guessed before, they're all psychics. The first victim in the Don't Look At Me case, he was able to predict the future, right? That was him, right? Yeah, he could probably see the future. Next, the leaky noise victim, she put those who heard a voice into a trance. Trance, you mean like anyone listened to her music felt really good? Yeah, probably something like that. In other words, she was able to control how people felt with her music. Next, the victim in the revolving dead case, he was able to read the client's minds, right? I think that Kita guy was a telepath. Yeah, that's right. That's what he said to me. And as for the victim in the Goto-san death case, that's right. All Watabe's favorite scoops were taken from angles and places that should have been impossible. He was probably using psychic photography. Interesting. So it's just like I said, Don't you get the sense that all these powers have a wish involved? A wish, huh? I'm going to end the episode here. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below, and if you want to see more of this, then do subscribe to the channel as I upload every single day. So thank you all for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.